Hey there, I'm Stefan Watson, and I serve at Stovall Pentecostal Church as the youth pastor. And I've been a credential holder for a few years now. And in 2020, when George Floyd was murdered, and the uproar and just the response that we saw on social media sort of prompted me to use social media to question why we as a fellowship aren't having these conversations. We are empowered by the Spirit. We're compelled by the scriptures to talk about these things, to act on these things. We've been given the boldness to do that. And we want to show the world what true reconciliation looks like.
But in 2020, we talked about George Floyd and the impact it had on our fellowship. In response to that, we had a diversity panel, which, no disrespect to the organizers of the panel and for those of us who spoke, but it wasn't a panel because there was no opportunity to engage and actually be heard. And then follow that a few months later with the wave of violence against Asian and Southeast Asian people. And again, just radio silence. Now we're in 2022, no disrespect to the people of Ukraine, no diminishing of the suffering that they're going through. But where was the same level of support for our Black brothers and sisters, for Asian brothers and sisters 2 years ago?
These are some things that people don't even understand. We were, one Sunday, it was Mother's Day, and we were doing video presentation, and we had 5 videos. That was 5 white women in a church which was 70% non-white.
Or even becoming involved in ministry within youth, and then becoming a youth leader, and seeing kind of even the events that would take place that the POC would hold. I found it very difficult to kind of relate to some of the events, or you just had a hard time connecting with or relating to even others in the fellowship just due to a lack of diversity. Also, you felt that sometimes you didn't feel fully represented or even considered in the way that maybe events or how things were planned or executed.
When I was in junior high, Andrew was my junior high pastor, I had people that I was able to look up to who were Black males, like people like Andrew, like Chris Chase, who was my youth pastor, people I could look up to and be like, yeah, these are guys who are leading, they're pastoring, they're preaching. I see them on stage on a Sunday morning. I look at a lot of the churches that I grew up at that were, had, people of color on stage. And I look at them, when I was growing up, and I look at them now, and I don't see that anymore.
My hope is that as a fellowship, we will not be afraid of having these conversations. This is a good first step. It'll probably take a little bit to get there. I really believe that this needs to trickle down to every level, particularly in our Bible schools. These kind of conversations need to happen among those that we're training for pastoral ministry in our fellowship.